All right, let's look at division. So remember division, just like we studied addition and subtraction together, because they're related and they're inverses of each other, right? We had missing addend as one of the interpretations of subtraction. We can do the same thing with division. In fact, it's powerful to teach and to explore multiplication and division together as well, because the relationship will be familiar from their prior knowledge. So if we go back to multiplication and we said A times B equals C, right? We knew that A was the number of groups and B was the number in each group and C was the total number. Okay. So if we're dividing, then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking division and dividing it, the total, and divide it either by A and not know B, or by B and not know A. Right? So if we're dividing C by A, then we know the total number and the number of groups. So the situation might be if I have 10 gummies and 5 kids. How many gummies will each kid get? Right? So I don't know the number in each group. I don't know how many each kid will get. But if I know how many each kid will get, let's say that I have 10 gummies and let's do 2 kids. 2 kids. So 10 gummies and 2 kids. How many gummies will each kid get? Or if I have 10 gummies and each kid should get 2 gummies. How many kids can I treat? Right, so there are 2 situations, but in both situations we have a 10 divided by 2. So this is where, for question 1, you may have written a situation where you're splitting it into 2 equal parts, splitting the 10 into 2 equal groups, in which case you know the number of groups and you don't know how many items are in each group. Or you may have written that you have 10 things and you're splitting them into pairs and you want to know how many pairs there are. So I'm hoping that once you're able to take your problem and figure out whether it's one of these style or one of this style, whether the number of groups is unknown or whether the number in each group is unknown, you'll then also be able to write the other problem in your context for number 3. Okay. So then if we look at B, well, this is exactly where we're going to try to make sense of what kind of division problem we have. So how many groups division? So if there are 15 stickers to put in bags, 5 stickers to go in each bag, how many bags do we need? We don't know how many groups there are, but we do know how many in each group. And versus the other situation, there are 15 stickers to distribute equally amongst 5 bags. We don't know how many in each bag, but we know there are 5 bags in total. So let's see if we can make sense of these problems, and we'll do some of them together and I'll leave the rest for you. Bill has a muffin recipe that calls for 2 cups of flour. How many batches of muffins can Bill make if he has 8 cups of flour available? Assume that Bill also has all other ingredients. So he has each recipe takes 2 cups of flour, and how many batches of muffins can he make? Okay, with 8 cups of flour. So he has 8 cups of flour in total. All right. Now, if we're keeping this as number of groups, and this is number in each group, so what is our group here? If we say Bill has a muffin recipe that calls for 2 cups of flour, right? And he has a total of 8 cups of flour. Doesn't it make sense to say that each recipe requires 2 cups of flour, and we don't know how many recipes that he wants to make? So the groups here is batches of muffins. This is our group, right? And 2 cups of flour, this is number of cups of flour in each group. Okay. So we don't know how many groups, but we do know that there's 2 cups of flour in each group. So it's a how many groups division. Okay. How about number 2? 1 foot is 12 inches. If a piece of rope is 96 inches long, then how long is it in feet? So it's 96 inches long. All right, and 1 foot is 12 inches. So there is, let me rewrite this. So 96 inches long, that's the total. And 1 foot is 12 inches. So each foot has 12 inches. Number of inches in a foot. And we don't know how many feet. So number of feet and 12 inches in each foot. Right? So the group is 1 foot. This is a group. And it's a group of 12 inches. And we want to know how many groups we have. How many groups? Okay. I'll leave number 3 for you. And number 4. And let's look at number 5. If you drive 220 miles at a constant speed and it takes you 4 hours, then how fast did you go? 220 miles total. And it took you 4 hours at some kind of speed, right? So 4 hours at some kind of miles per hour, right? So the hours are our groups. So the number of groups is our hours, and we don't know how many within each one of those hours, how many miles we went. So this is that other one, how many units in one group? How many in one group? Division. Okay. We'll do 6 together as well. If 6 limes cost $3, then how much should 1 lime cost? Assuming that all limes are priced equally. So 1 lime, how much should 1 lime cost? So it looks like it's $1 per lime, right? So that is this. That is the number in each group. How many groups do we have? How many limes do we have? 6 limes. And they cost $3. So how many in each group? How much does each lime cost? So this is how many in each group. Okay, so how about number 7? If 6 limes cost $3, still the same question. How many limes can you buy for $1? Oh my goodness. If 6 limes cost $3, how many limes can I buy for $1? Right? If I have $3 and I need limes per dollar here, I don't know that. That's going to be a total of 6. So this is also a how many in each group, but a very different question. Okay. All right.